Welcome to this video. In our previous video, we have seen what all constants are there and how they can help us while we create a table. In today's video, we would talk detail on not null constraint. Okay, so what do we mean by not null constraint? When a table is created, by default, it can allow a null value. What do we mean by null value? Null value might can be a blank value or some value which is not present. In some cases, that should not be the case. So there might be a requirement that you have to alter the default settings of that particular table. To do that, we would use not null constraint. Okay, so let's have a demonstration that how we can create a not null constraint. Before that, let me tell you a basic stuff. We can create a not null constraint while we are creating a table. However, it's not necessary that if a table is already created, you cannot change the properties for that column. We would see both ways how we can create a table and add the constraint, and second, how we can alter table's property and add a constraint, null constraint. Okay, so let's start. So in our previous videos, we have created a tutorial database. Now I will just create a new query. So we'll create a table. Create table. In detail, I would create a video where we would discuss in detail the features, how we can create a table. So, but right now here to understand the constants, we am just concentrate more on the constant part, not on the syntax or the parameters which would help you to create a table. Okay, so create table and table name, table student. Okay, table student only, table student. Okay, and then first name work 50 characters, comma, and last name work again 50 characters. Okay, so what I have done, I'm going to create, sorry, a table known as table student, and I'm just adding two columns. One first with the first name, and the second column as the last name of the student. Okay, so I will just execute this. Okay, the command completed successfully. Let's see the table. So click on this tutorial. Under this table, click on this. Okay, you could not see this. So if you don't see this, just click on this icon, which will say refresh, or you can just simply press F5 on your keyboard. Table. Okay, so see now table student is added. Now if I expand this, the columns, I could see that first name null value is allowed, last name null value is allowed. Now let's try keep adding some value, okay, or some record. So insert table student, first name, last name, values, first name and last name. Okay, so I'm just going to insert one record as Rakesh Sharma. Okay, so just select on this, execute, one row affected. Let's see. Gmail student, select this, execute. Okay, so Rakesh Sharma is added. Now let me add one more name. In first name, I will just make it, I don't want to keep any name, and here I will just make it make it David. Okay. So now if I do this, as we have not altered the default feature or property for the table, it will allow a null value. Let's see, insert, and then if we just select on this, so you could see that a null value is allowed. Okay, now let's see how we can alter the property. So right now I will show you the first method as how we can create a not null constraint while we create a table. To do that, first I have to delete this table because it's already present, and I have to create a similar table and add the constants and drop table student. Okay, I'll select on this, execute, and I will check table student is deleted. Okay, so now create table. I will use the previous statements only or the query. So first name I will just after this put not null. Okay, so if I just put not null, I'm putting a constant and or rather changing the default property of that column. So let's see. I will select on this, create it. So the table is created. I will click on this table. Okay, so table student is there. Now, if we click on that column, you would see that first name. We have changed the default property. It's now not null. Now let's see if we try to add a value like this, what SQL tells us. I will just select on this and click on execute. Don't bother on this, it's some graphics problem with my screen. Okay, so it would give you an error stating that cannot insert the value null into column first name table, this particular table student column does not allow null. Insert fails. So it's giving you an error stating that you cannot add a null value. You have to have a particular value in that particular column. Okay, so now let's see. I will just put a name John David. Okay, and now if I click on this, say one row affected. Very good. Now if I select on this, it's giving the value. Okay, so with this, we end up with the video. But just to summarize, not null is the very important concept if you want the user to allow a particular value in a column. That means you will not allow the user to insert a or keep a blank value in that particular column. Okay, so with this we would end the video, but before that, as I told, that we will also try to see how we can alter a particular existing table. Right, now let's see here in this table we have first name as not null. However, last name can allow null. Now let's see how we can change the property for this particular table for last name as well. So right now, I will not drop the table, rather I will alter table, table, alter table, table student, okay, alter column, last name, worker 50, okay, not null. Okay, so now here I'm changing the property of the existing table. Okay, so previously we deleted the table and we recreated the table, and while creating that table, we added the not null constraint. But here we are altering the table which is already existing in our database. So we'll just click on this, select this, and execute. So command is not successful. I will collapse this, refresh table column. Now you could see that both first name and last name will not allow a null value. So previously it was not null. So with this alter statement, I altered the property for that particular column. And now it's perfectly stating that it cannot allow a not null. Okay. So with this, let's end this video. Thank you for watching this video.